going on, YouTube? It's another episode here of the Dunces Podcast with myself, Jayson, and my boy Johnny Pierre. Johnny, what's going on, man? How you doing?
I'm ready for the draft, man.
I'm
Um,
excited.
I can't wait for these players' lives to be changed, for these teams to be changed, and for the Orlando Magic to stock more picks and do absolutely nothing with them.
It's funny you mentioned that because that's the first team I looked at. I was like, at pick number 5, who would they even take? But I guess now we're gonna talk about that, right?
Orlando Magic is just collecting players at this point. They have no real intention of winning basketball
So
games.
collecting players just to trade them and so that they can become stars in other teams. Shout out Victor Oladipo and Aaron Gordon. But anyway, the Dunces fan base, what's going on, guys? Thank you guys for joining. For those of you who have joined, please send this video out to everybody now that the draft is actually coming along pretty soon. I believe it's in 2 days. Am I right or am I wrong, Johnny?
Thursday. So today's Tuesday. They'll get this on Wednesday. So one day.
Yes. For the viewers, it'll be 1 day. For us, it'll be 2 days. Very exciting stuff. Obviously, other things around the league that we'll get into. But we kind of just want to jump straight into it, the draft. Now, obviously, we're not going to do all 30 teams in all rounds, meaning we won't do both first and second rounds. We just want to do like our own little mini mock draft of the top 10 picks. Now, obviously, there's so many great talent in this draft, so many young kids that are, looking to make a name for this. So when I say kids, even though they're basically our age, it's kind of crazy that we think about it. It's kind of crazy, Johnny, that we're both 19, 18 respectively, and these guys are just LeBron compared to us.
Right? Saying kids like makes us feel like we know what we're talking about, Like
Right.
you can't say, these guys that are our age. No. We have to pretend that we know what we're talking about and say that they're kids. It makes us feel more, even though they're way more talented than us than we'll ever be. But
that's hands down. The fact that you acknowledge that, I love it. I love that. So just a quick review, guys, on the top 10 picks. Who owns the top 10 picks? The Pistons so far right now have the number 1 pick. Houston has number 2, Cleveland at 3, Toronto at 4, Orlando at 5, OKC at 6, Golden State has 7. Yes, I'll repeat that. Golden State has 7. Orlando at 8. So as you can see, they have 2 top 10 picks. Sacramento at 9. And New Orleans had number 10, but they just traded that away to Memphis. We'll get into that trade towards the end of the video once we get to that number 10 spot. So usually I know how when I've listened to podcasts and they do top 10 picks, they usually start from the bottom up. I can't do that. I feel like we should start from the top down. So let's do it, Johnny. At number 1.
This draft is different because the fun really starts below 3. So
yeah. I mean, that's basically how it's been the past few years, right? I mean, Zion was the same thing. Zion, RJ, and Ja. Now we got here with Cade, Jalen, and Evan. I guess those are the 3 biggest names that we can mention. So at number 1, the Detroit Pistons select.
If I'm the Detroit Pistons, I'm selecting Chris Duarte.
Get out of here.
Okay, his name is Chris Duarte. His friends call him Cade Cunningham. I'm just kidding. But Cade Cunningham, obviously the most complete player in this draft and the most safe player in this draft. It's funny because I know we're going to talk about Evan Mobley, but Evan Mobley is going to be the best player in this draft when it's all said and done, just because of his skill set and his potential. But right now, if you look at the Pistons, who need a foundational piece, they don't have a single guy that can really build off of right now. A 6'9" point guard that has all the measurables to be a two-way player eventually, can pass the ball, is a playmaker, can make other teammates better. And you look at the direction of the league, big wings, he's a point guard, but big wings is the direction of the league. And you can say, in 4 years, I'll be willing to pay this man to start my franchise. And he wants to come to Detroit. Who wants to come to Detroit? Nobody wants to come to Detroit, and he wants to come to Detroit. That's probably the deal breaker.
That's a great point that you bring up, because apparently Detroit isn't even fully on him. They're thinking of, looking at Jalen Green, who, by the way, is also a great talent.
Well, I mean, I'm pretty sure they're on Cade. I think they're just dangling these rumors around so they can see what they can get.
Right.
Because
go ahead.
I'm just saying, Cade doesn't make them a winner now, even though he's the best pick. So it's all right, well, let's just dangle him around, see if we can get a fortress of picks for him.
But that's the thing. Whoever they pick is not going to make them a winner now, because Detroit sucks. I mean, the Jeremy Grant is your best player. I love Jeremy Grant, but you cannot win and like a championship with Jeremy Grant as your best player. So
Jeremy
building, right?
Jeremy Grant is on his way to win a participation trophy for Team USA right now.
Yo, Team USA, that's a whole podcast in of itself, man. We gotta get into that. But so I agree with you. I think Cade Cunningham is the consensus number one pick. He has to be. He has Luka Doncic potential, and what I mean by that is the way that he sees the game. Obviously, Luka sees it at just ever since he got into the league, it was already one of the top five. But maybe like the way that he plays the game, very slow pace, but can be running if he has to be. He reminds me a little bit also like LaMelo Ball, just a tall point guard. That, I mean, you see the way he plays, and he plays at his pace. And I feel like that's something that Detroit needs, right? They don't really have a true guard that they can build on. I mean, they have Dennis Smith Jr. They have, I believe my boy Killian Hayes is there as well. And then they got Saban Lee. Like, these guys are solid players, but no one is going to thread that needle to become that guy. And I think Cade Cunningham has that potential. And
I don't think LaMelo Ball is the right comparison, just because LaMelo Ball still doesn't have a polished offensive game.
Yeah, I'm just talking height, though. I'm just saying like taller point guards. But I get what you mean. Yeah.
I think he's probably the more NBA ready player to start day one that can give you at least 15, 5, 3, 6 or 7 and any given night. And he wants to be there, and he's going to make the players better. I like the 1-2 combination with him and Killian Hayes, because Killian Hayes can be a defender, also another playmaker. Who knows? We'll see how that works, but I'm intrigued by that.
And I know I badged on the Pistons a little bit before, but look, even then, the Pistons have good young players like Sadiq Bey. I really like the way he plays. His 3-and-D game is amazing. And then you got Isaiah Stewart, who is a solid big man.
Very solid.
They have a good, solid young core, and I think Cade Cunningham will just be the cornerstone of that young core. So we agree, Cade Cunningham at number 1. At number 2, Johnny, the Houston Rockets are selecting.
If I'm the Houston Rockets, I'm selecting Jalen Green with the number 2 pick, which is interesting because, like I said, Evan Mobley is still better, but I think you can afford to not have Evan Mobley just because you can have an exciting, athletic point guard in Jalen Green. First of all, I mean, as we're talking about pure shot creators, he's one of the best we have in this draft. Super athletic, can finish with both hands. Defense is a little bit of a question just because he has a very small frame, but I mean, it's not like that's something he can be able to learn, and with 6'5" and with length, I mean, that's something he'll be able to learn. And I really think, I mean, if you're just thinking about from Raphael's standpoint as the Rockets, as the Rockets organization, Jalen Green and KPJ backcourt would be one of the more exciting ones in the league, even though they're not winning. I know Evan Mobley has all the upside. He's 7 foot, but you already have Christian Wood, who's already been playing at the 5. Like, I know Mo's a better player, but I'm just saying you get an exciting point guard. You get exciting 2 guard of Jalen Green. You get fans back in the stands. KPJ and Jalen Green, they've said this like months ago that they want to play with each other. So there's already like a building chemistry going. And I really think it's great. He just has a real scoring instinct. Paul George said he reminded him of T-Mac. In fact, Jalen Green had a workout with the Pistons, and some of the biggest Cade Cunningham guys on the Detroit Pistons organization, their eyes were blown, and like they're like, "Whoa, okay." I mean, let's look at Jalen Green. So, he's shown that he can be a great shot creator and perfect for the Rocket system, that he can develop even more and more. Obviously, he's going to learn to be even a better scorer in the years to come. But for right now, I think it's going to be a great backcourt over there in Houston.
I think his offensive game, the T-Mac comparison, obviously, I believe it's excessive only because T-Mac is one of the greatest to ever do it.
Well, then again, Paul Pierce did say that, and he was probably off of a couple balls, would you say?
Yeah. But Jalen Green, like, his game reminds me a little bit of like a Zach LaVine type. Not obviously athletically or athleticism wise, right?
Well, I mean, he is really athletic, but
but I mean, Zach LaVine is
different breed. Yeah.
Right. So, but I could see like their offensive game being slightly similar, and I think him and KPJ would work well together because I feel like KPJ is going to turn into a little bit of that combo guard type, kind of like what James Harden was with Houston. That's what they're going to try to do with KPJ, and we saw a little bit of baby Harden when he was there,
Yeah.
when he scored that 50 piece right on Drew. Like he has a lot of this potential now. Imagine him and another running mate, and then Christian Wood either in the corner or back to the basket. I mean, Houston has and Jason Tate. I don't forget about Jason Tate.
What's his name? Kenyon Martin Jr.
Can you
Yeah,
Kate Murray Jr.?
high
Yeah,
flyer, can defend.
yeah,
The future is looking bright, and they have a couple picks. They have to really. I mean, they're going to lose their picks in the next 2 years, so they have to really make these ones count these
yeah.
next 2 years. But yeah, my question is, can KPJ become the playmaker they have to be to make this backcourt work? Because as we speak, I mean, they're kind of similar in their play styles.
Yeah.
It just be like a 1-2 punch, ISO, a heavy game. I know that's not how the Houston Rockets coach lost his name.
Steven
Silas. I know it's a lot more ball movement, 3-point shooting. I want to see how he integrates into the offense. It's going to be interesting, and they have years to make it work.
Yeah, but I agree with you. I think Jalen Green is definitely the top choice at number 3. I mean, on number 2. But now moving on to number 3 with the Cleveland Cavaliers. Now a little bit of backstory. They already have Jared Allen at the center. They have Colin Sexton, Darius Garland, Colin Sexton on trading block. Cleveland is just an organization where we don't know what's going to happen. But I think we both know what they would do with this pick, especially if Cade and Jalen are off the board. The third pick, the Cleveland Cavaliers are selecting
Evan Mobley, unless Coleman Altman does something that he regrets. I don't know if the Rockets will do something crazy and pick Evan Mobley too. Like I know everyone loves Jalen Green, but I don't know. So if just in case the Rockets don't take Evan Mobley will be the pick for the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Yeah.
And we're talking about generational talent type player. It's gonna be Evan Mobley. Hasn't even reached his full potential. Averaged the Anthony Davis comparisons. I know people are saying outlandish. No, it's not. Because first of all, he averaged about 3 blocks a game, similar stats to Anthony Davis coming out of high school. Can handle the ball and is one of the better passers as a big man. And we're talking about Evan Mobley that in the future he could be running transition with his ability to ball handle. And just think about that front court with Jared Allen and Evan Mobley.
Twin Towers 2.0.
I mean, talk about the pressure that relieves. He can guard 1 through 5, takes the pressure off of we got to see what they're going to do with Sexton, but Darius Garland's obviously the key to that franchise as the 1 spot. Takes the pressure off him, and yeah, he has an amazing future. Obviously his frame, he's going to get a lot bigger, and we got to see if he's going to develop that 3-point shot. But right now, we're talking about the best player. And look at the direction the NBA is going. If we look at the last 2 title winners, who did they have? A freakish 7-foot player that Giannis, Anthony Davis. It's where the direction of the league is going. And if you want to win games, this is a player that you want to have. And the Cleveland Cavaliers have to be ecstatic. Kobe Altman will keep his job for another 2 months, and yeah.
Screw Cleveland, but no, I think this is the safest pick, Evan Mobley. And I try to steer clear from saying that this big man is going to be the best player in the draft, even though he's going second or third or whatever. I said the same thing last year with James Wiseman, and many people agreed with me saying that because I said that James Wiseman was probably the best player once their careers are over, James Wiseman will have the better career than LaMelo and Anthony Edwards. I am wrong. Very, very wrong.
Well, first of all, James Wiseman, he's got to play at least more than.
That's why.
He's got to play a couple more professional games.
Yeah.
My thing is, I never really believed James Wiseman, but I knew LaMelo Ball would be better than James Wiseman. That's for sure because of his highest playmaking ability and his ability to improve from the 3-point line. But with Wiseman, at the time, that was the better pick for the Golden State Warriors, I think.
Of course.
Because I think Steph Curry needs like a swingman 5. Hopefully he develops in the way they want to, but I mean, it's not looking good right now. But it's only 1 year. We're not going to freak out.
Yeah, I mean, and they basically drafted him to trade him for a star. But anyway, so we got the first 3 picks, Cade, Jalen, and Evan. I think that's pretty much, what we were going to say anyway. Yeah. Now here's where the 4th pick comes, the Toronto Raptors. Just 2 years ago, they did win a championship with with Kawhi, obviously. But then now, a lot of things changed. And now Lowry is most likely gone. They still got Fred VanVleet and Pascal Siakam. So now with this fourth pick, who will the Toronto Raptors select? I'm actually going to make this pick first, and then
Okay.
you let me know what you think.
You're the GM on the Raptors, and you're
Um,
on the clock, Jayson. Who are you
yes.
gonna pick? You got interns running around trying to give you coffee. Papers are flying. Who are you picking?
So I'm going to look at the team that I have now. I think that they would want to start Fred VanVleet for some reason at shooting guard. You already got OG Anunoby, Pascal. I will be taking Jalen Suggs
Yeah,
with my fourth pick if I'm the Toronto Raptors. Agree or disagree?
I agree. Um,
Now, is it a fit thing? Because
it,
I
it,
think Scottie Barnes is better, but I think for the NBA right now, because usually with
Scottie
point,
Barnes, bro, over Jalen Suggs.
no,
Crazy, yo.
no. I'm saying that Jalen Suggs, he's a point guard, right? So usually point guards
Shooting
struggle.
guard,
But
shooting guard.
yeah, I guess. But okay, that kind of changes things. If he is a shooting guard, if he does play shooting guard for Toronto, hands down, then that's the pick you go for. But I don't know. I could also see them going for that 6'8", small forward, power forward in Scottie Barnes, and kind of like pushing OG Anunoby out of there because he's not really. They're not really utilizing him to how they're
Scottie
supposed
Barnes
to.
would literally just be another OG Anunoby. And didn't they pay him? Didn't they pay him?
I think they did. It was like 16 million or something like that. But they're not using him in the way that they should, in my opinion.
So what
In
makes
my
you think?
opinion.
What makes you think Scottie Barnes is going to be able
No.
to?
I'm not saying that's why I'm saying the fit is Jalen Suggs.
Yeah,
But
if
if it was any other team, I don't know if I would take Jalen Suggs.
I would. I mean, like I said, fit is weird, but I think Jalen Suggs is one of the more safer picks because we're talking about grade size of 6'4", high basketball IQ, makes mature winning plays, and that really fits the Raptors organization in the way the coaching style. Um, he makes great pass. Like if you're gonna cut, he will find you. He did that with a lot of the players that Gonzaga made everyone player. Can finish strong at the rim, and he will defend. He's willing to defend any player. He's not scared at all. I feel like he can develop really nicely in Toronto. Scottie Barnes is more of a project, and
I
I,
agree.
I don't think he fits. I don't think he fits the Raptors' current timeline. I mean, I
You're
like
right.
Scottie Barnes, but if you already have OG and you like, I don't think his development wouldn't really fit their timeline. I think you can plug and play Jalen Suggs right away off the bench, even as a starter, and he can get easier shots for Pascal and other guys on the team. And he's just a winning basketball player.
You
You
know,
saw
my
him
issue, my
win
issue
win
with
every.
Suggs, I think is mainly the recency bias, right? Because he played such a bad game in that championship game. I think that's my main thing. But I don't know. I feel like also another thing that I like is projects, right? Like I like Scottie Barnes at 6'8", but the fit in Toronto, I see it. I see Jalen Suggs wearing that Toronto Raptors jersey. I see him playing great alongside Fred VanVleet.
How
I
many
see him
projects?
finding.
How many projects do the Raptors need, bro? They got like 10
I
projects.
think all their guys are basically drop projects.
It's like Nick Nurse, he was already a part of the G League system. So you know he's gonna be scouting guys in and out. He knows how this works. Like, just get Jalen Suggs, get a player that can play right now, man.
Yeah, it sucks
Like,
because I really wanted Toronto to get that third pick so they can take Evan Mobley because I felt like he would have. Oh man, Evan Mobley as their centerpiece, like literally centerpiece. I think that would have been one of the best picks in Raptors history. But they
yeah,
get
but like
Suggs, which is
if
fine.
if they somehow get the third pick, because first of all, like let's be real, like the Pascal Siakam thing is becoming a real thing. Like we're hearing that he's not happy in Toronto.
Yeah, the way that
So
he's being utilized and stuff like that is just it's his fault too, though. I think, but that's in the topic for another
that is
conversation.
also. But we have to see what's going on with them. But for right now, you just need a player that can play.
Yeah.
If you look at the playoffs, like who can you put in the last like 7 minutes of a playoff game? You can put Jalen Suggs in the last 7 minutes of a playoff game and feel confident. He's that type of player. He makes winning basketball players. And yeah, for right now, I know the Pascal situation. I don't think that really matters with what I'm talking about here. I'm kind of rambling, but Jalen Suggs, number 4.
Okay, so now moving on to the fifth pick. This is one of Orlando's two top 10 picks. So in
Okay.
the fifth pick, the Orlando Magic are selecting.
I'm gonna go. There's a lot of different options they can go with. They could go with Davion Mitchell as a guard. I don't know how I'd feel with Cole Anthony. Maybe you can put that as a pairing. But if you look at the upside, if you tell me in 10 years, if you tell me, like, close your eyes, Jayson, 6 foot point guard that can defend, or 6'8" shot creator that's has a lot of upside, who would you pick?
Wait, are you saying Jonathan Kuminga?
Same Jonathan Kuminga.
What? I dude. Okay, so for those of you who are like watching this and like seeing that, like, I'm surprised. We have not discussed this at all before. This is all happening right now with you guys.
Beautiful.
I literally was going to say Jonathan Kuminga, and I was gonna be like, man, this is gonna be the first one Johnny and I are gonna disagree with. No, we got it. Jonathan Kuminga is the fifth pick, right?
Yeah, of course. I mean, the upside is there, but bro, as regards to any lottery pick in this whole draft, Jonathan Kuminga has the most red flags. I mean, as we're talking about, like, being like players not really wanting to play with him. Shot creating is iffy, but I mean, bro, he's 6'8". The potential is there. I mean, like, that's a player you can work with. You know what I'm saying? Like, he can finish at the rim. His 3-point shooting is iffy, but like I said, I think he can be a solid player in this league.
Yeah, and I don't think they need another guard, if I'm being honest. Like, they already have three. I mean, Markelle Fultz is going to be back. Cole Anthony is. I mean, he should have been all rookie, either first or second team. But of course, he got snubbed. And then you got R.J. Hampton, who was traded, for Aaron Gordon. And I love R.J. Hampton's game, right?
R.J. Hampton.
Right. So I think that they have, a good solid 3-man rotation with the guards. And then bringing in Jonathan Kuminga alongside, Jonathan Isaac, who'll be back, who's one of the best defensive players in the league. Mo Bamba, Wendell Carter Jr. They have a solid team. Maybe not playoff bound just yet, but I think for any team that should draft Jonathan Kuminga, besides the Warriors, obviously, because they can take on projects and then trade him or whatever. But I think Orlando, their safest pick is Jonathan Kuminga.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I love that. That's awesome that we picked that together. I really didn't think that you were going to do that. That's crazy.
Bro, you know I don't like Jonathan Kuminga, but I think
you don't.
It works. It works for the Magic.
So now, with the sixth pick, this is the Oklahoma City Thunder pick. Now, according to reports, which I believe are completely false, they packaged this pick along with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander for the first overall pick in Cade Cunningham. How stupid is that? I don't even want to get into it. But with the sixth pick, in theory, thinking that OKC is going to keep this pick, who do you have them taking with the sixth overall pick?
I'm thinking about a player that has a lot of upside. Might even be taken before this, in my opinion, because he had a lot of good workouts. I think Scottie Barnes is going to be there for the Thunder at number 6. He fits their timeline. He's a project player, a lot of length, can defend, and he, like I said, he fits the timeline, so he can really grow and blossom and learn how to play on the NBA level. Bro, his measurables are there. I mean, instinctive defensive player, plays with energy every night. I like Scottie Barnes a lot for OKC as we speak. What about you, man?
I love that you brought that up because that was also my pick. I also had Scottie Barnes as the 6th overall pick. Now, my reasoning is slightly different. I'm just looking at it from the lineup perspective, right? You got Shai Gilgeous-Alexander at the point, Lou Dort at the 2, both solid defenders, one great, one above average in Shai. And then you got players like Darius Bazley, Scottie Barnes, Isaiah Roby, this cat, what's his name? Alexei Pokusevsky, right? Yeah. Like, they have just a bunch of talent there, right? So I think Scottie Barnes would fit that team perfectly because he's a 3-and-D wing, where he'll be able to play.
I mean, 3-and-D wing without the wing, or without the D, without the 3. Oh my God, without the 3. He has really no offensive game, bro.
Yeah, it's really just deep. But like, he'll be there to play alongside Shai, right? And I think he's gonna mesh really well with him, and I believe he's somewhat of a high flyer, right? So I
Yeah,
think
bro. Yeah, like super athletic, bro.
I think that that's a pretty good pick. Now, I've been seeing a lot lately of this kid James Bouknight. Bouknight. I don't know much about him. Um,
James Bouknight. We'll talk about him. But, I mean, I don't think.
he's not sixth overall.
I just don't think. I just don't think another guard. I think you just need like length and defensive ability,
Ability.
higher upside. Like, I mean, James Bouknight, he can play right now, but I don't think he fits the Thunder as we speak with Shea and Dort. I mean, yeah, you can plug him and play him, but I don't think you can maximize potential in the Thunder right now. Scottie Barnes is a player that has higher upside, and you can really work with him without worrying about winning or losing. Just going out there and playing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and that's what I love about Oklahoma City because there's so many questions you know that come with them because they have so many picks, so they can definitely package this and trade for another star. There's just so many things that they can do. But as of right now, we both have Scottie Barnes. So just to clarify, with the top 6 picks so far, we got Cade Cunningham, Jalen Green, Evan Mobley, Jalen Suggs, Jonathan Kuminga, and Scottie Barnes.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we both have.
Yep.
So far, nothing has been different. So now with the
Scottie Barnes has a 7'2" wingspan, bro.
insane.
I mean, bro, pairing that up with bro, he can defend the off ball really well.
The defensive versatility
and he can handle the ball too. He can handle the ball and is a really good playmaker as well. I mean, he played point guard, bro. He's a 6'8" guy, so
yeah. No, I agree. I think that's a good pick for OKC.
and he will play point guard the entire season because if OKC senses that there is any sort of winning trying to going on, bro, they will bench Shy and Lou Dort for the rest of the season. So he'll get a lot of
it. Yeah, definitely, man. They got to get that number 1 pick next year too. So now Golden State. I don't think they're gonna make this pick if I'm being honest. But if they do, I guess we really shouldn't even look at fit. I think that we should just say who the 7th best player or who the best player available is right now.
Interesting.
So this is very interesting. So I'm actually gonna delegate this one on you again. See what you have to say because I don't know if we're gonna agree. I think this is gonna be our first one that we disagree.
Yeah, this is you're gonna be surprised at this one. So the 3 players that you can really plug in and play for Golden State that's on their radar probably will have on the experts radar.
So you're going based off Golden State. You're not going by best available.
No, I'm going off of based on what would fit Golden State right now in their current.
All right, that's fine. So I'm just gonna go with best available in my opinion. But go ahead.
So last year, if you were to redo that draft, who would you pick number 1 overall if you're a Golden State?
You mean number 2?
Number 2, well, my bad.
I'd take LaMelo, obviously.
All right, interesting. Well, there's an Australian point guard named Josh Giddey, who is an elite playmaker, the best passer in the draft. Josh Giddey, bro. I think the Warriors should select him at number 7, bro.
Giddey. I don't understand.
I'm telling you, bro. Bro, his playmaking ability, you can plug him and play him in any lineup right now in the NBA. He can rebound really well. Like I said, he has defense. He has some defensive questions. But if we're talking about a facilitator, like you can make up for what you did wrong last year with LaMelo Ball and get Josh Giddey as another speaker to have along Clay and Steph. I think so. It'll work, bro.
That was. I have that name at number 7.
What? Yo, that's crazy. That's crazy. You got Josh Giddey number 7? Whoa.
That's number 7.
That's wild.
It had nothing to do with the Warriors. I just thought whoever got that pick was going to draft this kid from Australia.
Bro, Josh Giddey. I like him, bro. Like I said, I wasn't sold at first, but when you watch his tape, bro.
He's nice, dude.
Elite playmaking, bro. Playmaking. I feel like he'd be able to mesh well. That's a guy Steve Kerr would be able to develop nicely.
I think so too.
He has some shot creating questions that he's
young though.
He's young. He can be able to develop that. But so you can tell some people have the knack to be a shot creator. I don't know if you can become a shot creator and also play along with Steph Curry. I mean, like I said, great size,
Yeah.
great length. He needs to work on his defending on off ball screens and stuff like that. Like I said, defense is a big question, but then again, um,
I
I mean,
love this.
not everyone can guard NBA players, but I just think as a playmaker, it will fit the Warriors' offense, and you can make up for what you didn't do with LaMelo Ball. They put up similar stats in the Australian League, showed
Yeah.
like real promise at playmaking. Not the greatest free throw shooters in the world, so make it up with him. So my question is, I know you said Josh Giddey. Why do you have Josh Giddey instead of Davion Mitchell or James Bouknight? That's my
I just think the playmaking aspect of Josh Giddey is just he, in my opinion, at 6'8", you basically just a little less version of Cade Cunningham, and who wouldn't want that, right? So when I look at
I mean,
Davion
this
Mitchell,
kid coming in without the scoring and the
yeah, right. But with Davion Mitchell, I just feel like
and
his
defensive
game
upside
his game
and
is gonna
that's
be
like
like I like Davion Mitchell. I think he's gonna be a solid player, but do I think that he's just gonna fit anywhere? No, I think he has to find a team that'll fit him,
yeah.
right? And
But like
so
I said, you can plug Davion Mitchell into the Warriors system. I
you
think so.
can,
Because
but
bro, his a he can guard. He can really. I think he can guard. He can chase around guards and make guards uncomfortable. Like literally.
but imagine you got Josh Giddey, basically playing that Draymond type offense, like giving the ball to Steph just in a easier position for him to score.
Yeah.
And he attacks, right? Like Draymond Green, like he's gonna get the ball, and the first thing he's looking at is Curry. With Josh Giddey, he doesn't. I mean, not that he doesn't need Curry, because obviously having Curry there is great, but he can create his own shot and be able
Well,
to
actually, creating his own shot. I don't. That's one of the
creating
questions.
his own shot. I'm seeing
Because
like
I don't know.
inside.
Like I said, he'll be a better option than Draymond just because he can get his jumper, he can drive to the rim. But like I said, he's not a real pure shot creator, and
Oh, obviously it's
he
raw.
can't really keep the defense too honest. But like I said, that's something he can develop and be better at. But
Yeah,
yeah, but with the size alone, he can get buckets. He needs to get a floater game. I mean, if he gets a floater game, that's gonna help him a lot. But I
yeah.
just really think within the flow of that Warriors offense, that's gonna be great. Okay, so what about James? I mean, okay, never mind. Didn't watch enough tape on James Bouknight. Um, James Bouknight is an athletic guard with a real knack to score. He can finish at the rim. My
Yeah.
player comp is Zach LaVine. So imagine a lesser Zach LaVine on the Warriors bench. Um,
See,
here's
that's
why.
why
Here's why it doesn't
I don't
work.
think they would, because again, I'm not looking at it from a Golden State perspective. I'm looking at it from best player available.
And I'm looking at it as the Jordan Poole. Jordan Poole, bro. I think Jordan Poole is my candidate for most improved player of next year. I think Jordan Poole is going to really develop into a really good guard off the bench, and he's a ball dominant guard that has a knack to score. How do you put James Bouknight and him in the same backcourt off the bench? I don't really like that. I prefer a playmaking guard and a combo scoring guard with Josh Giddey. You know what I'm saying? Like off the bench, I feel like
Yeah,
that's a great pairing. That's a better pairing off the bench.
and and again, I mean, who wouldn't want Josh Giddey, right? Like you're the Warriors, you have that pick, and let's say you draft him, who wouldn't want him, right? I think he's just
Like
a perfect
you
player to
just
trade.
want to play. You just want to play with a guy like him. That you
Yeah,
know
yeah,
that if you make this effort to run around and try to get open, he will find you. That's the guy you want to play with. And that just reminds me of just the prime Warriors offense with Sean Livingston and Andre Iguodala.
right, yeah,
Steph Curry knew they would find them if they got any sort of space. You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
yeah. That's crazy that we have these so far. Okay, our drafts are similar, eerily similar. The top seven. We have to get this one differently,
Yeah,
obviously.
at this point, we're just gonna make up something just to like
Yeah, I know.
make the podcast interesting. Like, come on, please.
So Orlando, this is their second top 10 pick. So Orlando has the eighth pick. With this eighth pick, who are they taking?
Um, I'm looking at the guys available right now, and why not Davion Mitchell, man? At number 8, because first of all, you got two guards in R.J. Hampton, and Cole Anthony. They're scorers. They can't really defend. They're not great defenders. I think Davion Mitchell is the safe pick because with the higher up pick, you pick the player with the better measurables and the upside. And if you already have another pick, then you pick the safe pick. Davion Mitchell, he's getting like I mean, the people rave about him because of his ability to defend, stronger lower body, He gets better every year because he puts in the work. I feel like that's a guy you want to have, especially if those two guards making each other better every day. And yeah, I think that would be nice just to have someone that come off the bench that he can defend the other player's best guard. So yeah, especially if you have two picks and multiple picks coming, pick the safer pick, and that's Davion Mitchell, older and mature.
So you're going with Davion Mitchell, and this is actually the one we disagree with. So I told you before, I didn't really know much about this kid, James Bouknight, but I read a few things about him saying that he's a solid scorer. And honestly, I would take him if I'm Orlando, only because I feel like, for one thing, he's younger than Davion, and another thing, like I said, they already have their three guards, in Cole, Markel, and RJ, but having this kid, he's not going to be, their star, obviously, to begin with. And I could see them, trading away one of their guards, to get another piece alongside Jay Isaac and stuff like that. I think he would be a solid pick for them, but I can see why you say Davion Mitchell because of his defense. But I feel like they already have too many defenders. Like, they need a little bit more scoring. Where I bring in
defenders who can guard the team's best guard. Name a defender that can guard that person.
RJ Hampton has potential.
RJ Hampton? You want RJ Hampton to be ISO'd with a guard, bro? Man, stop.
He's 6'5". He has solid lateral.
Oh no.
I think
also, okay, it's the guard accumulation that the Orlando Magic have. Can you have a player that can play along with them? The stuff that experts are raving about is the tangibles, his winning mentality, and also he played in multi-guard lineups in college.
Yeah, that's true.
So
I saw him play. I think he's a solid player.
So he played in multi-guard lineups in college.
Yeah.
Cole Anthony, RJ Hampton will not be a deterrent to his success because he's used to it. And not only that, he's going to be on the floor because he makes winning plays on the defensive end, and he's mature. So I feel like if you're going to add another guard, don't add the flashy upside guard that you guys have never been able to develop for the past 20 years or something. Why not add the guy that can make winning basketball players and make the team better, just off of his mentality alone? And that's why you do that.
So with that in mind, then why wouldn't you pick Moses Moody? Because Moses Moody has a lot of the same thing that Davion Mitchell has. Only difference is that his offensive game isn't quite as polished as Mitchell is. So
no, I think Moses Moody, I think he has the more offensive polished game just because he can get easier buckets at 6'6". Shots 36% from three, 81% from the free throw line. He's just a bucket getter, bro. Not as fast, not as quick.
That's my issue with him. Yeah,
that's a safe pick, I think, honestly. But it's
you think Moody is a better pick than Bouknight?
Yes, for the Magic.
Okay, for the Magic, of course.
He's the better player, but as regards to the Magic, if you have Moody and Bouknight on the guard, bro, I mean, get the 6'6" guard with a 7'1" wingspan. He was actually in the top 10 of half court scoring efficiency. He's a bucket getter, and I think that's something you can.
You can see Moses Moody, like after I mentioned that.
I'm starting to get all right, so we're like the Orlando GMs and all right, Davion Mitchell, and then an intern says, "Hey, Moses Moody wants to talk to you." I was like, all right, well, he was one of the best scoring players in the whole country last year.
We might as well take him. You know what? Since for the sake of the video, since we've agreed on everything so far, let's just agree that Moses Moody is that 8th pick. Even though I know that Davion Mitchell is probably the better player, but
man, that's crazy because you want Davion Mitchell because Orlando just needs someone that can just promote winning inside that locker room, right? But Moses Moody is the higher upside. That's a tough one.
Yeah, but I think you also made the point clear.
Who's their shooting guards?
It would be Hampton as their shooting guard.
You'd want Moody over Hampton any day, really.
I think so too. I think you know what? I'm gonna go with Moody now as my 8th pick. What do you say? Are we agreeing or are we disagreeing?
If you're gonna suck, at least have size. You know what I'm saying? I know Davion Mitchell, but if you're gonna suck, at least just be a big team. Imagine a lineup of Jonathan Kuminga at the 3, Moses Moody at the 2, probably Cole Anthony, Mamba, Jonathan Isaac. Not that bad. That's not that bad. That's not
So,
size.
so we're gonna go with Moody then. Let's do it. Let's go with Moody. Let's go with Moody. Why not?
Like you're at the end of the day, you're like, why are we taking so much time on this pick? We're gonna suck.
Yeah.
We'll suck for the next 3 years. Let's just pick the most efficient offense.
I'll never draft another penny. That's all I'm gonna know. So, at the 9th pick now. So, well, just to clarify, Moses Moody at 8, right?
That's 50-50. It depends if one of the interns is like a baddie, and then you got another intern that's just like a dude you don't like. The baddie says Davion Mitchell. The other one says Moses Moody.
You go whatever the baddie say.
I'm saying she's saying Davion Mitchell. I'm just gonna go with Davion Mitchell just for now. He's a safer pick.
So now with Sacramento though. So Sacramento has a 9th pick. Obviously a lot of questions. Buddy Hield and Marvin Bagley, main questions. If they trade away Buddy Hield, they trade away Marvin Bagley. It's basically just De'Aaron Fox and a bunch of scrubs. So as a Sacramento King,
that's not Tyrese Halliburton, bro.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry, Tyrese. Tyrese, I love you. Shout out you in your podcast. Joining JJ Redick and the Old Man and the Three. I love that. So yeah, you really just have Fox and Halliburton. So who are you taking with that 9th pick? Some notable names that I just want to throw out for those fans who don't know. There's Franz Wagner still on the board.
Yeah.
Kai Jones, Davion Mitchell, apparently, even though he is a point guard. Just want to make that out there. James Bouknight, and one other name we can mention is Keon Johnson. I think Keon Johnson is another player we can mention.
Yeah.
Who should the Kings draft? And if it's none of these players that I mentioned, these are just players that I just said. But if there's another player that you're thinking in mind, go ahead and pick them.
It's funny because now that I look at these, I'm thinking about like these players that could also work well for the teams that are already drafted for. I think Franz Wagner would be really good for Golden State as well. I think another big off the bench that can play really well. Young guy that you can develop. And an impactful defender as well, But I think Franz Wagner is why did I say Wagner, bro? I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's the German way of saying it. So like Mo Wagner is his name, but like in America it's Wagner, but in Germany it's Wagner.
Okay.
Yeah.
His brother plays for Germany, so I'm like confused. But I think the Kings will take him. I think his playing style meshes well with Tyrese Halliburton and Fox potentially, unless he gets dealt. I don't know. But I think that's a 6'9", great size, young, fits the Kings timeline. You can develop really well. I think, really good at the free throw line too, 81%. Nice touch around the rim. Reading some draft stuff. I think he's a solid player too. If you want to build around a young team, you need a 6'9" guy that's just really good with the intangibles, So I think that's just a safe pick for the Kings. They're gonna suck anyway. Might as well suck in style.
Yeah. I agree. I think Franz Wagner is the best choice, honestly, in my opinion. I could also see Kai Jones, especially if they Marvin Bagley.
So I know we're talking about sleepers of the draft. That's after, but Kai Jones could go 6 to Oklahoma City, bro. His potential.
Yep.
Bro, Kai Jones, dog. If we're talking about,
I was surprised that you didn't mention him. That's why I thought that we were gonna be. Kai Jones is gonna be this guy's pick. That was my number one.
Because I'm saving him, bro. The Kings are retarded, bro. We're thinking the Kings are gonna make a good pick. I think if you want to be
the Kings are gonna take Chris Duarte.
Yeah, Kings are taking Chris Duarte, bro. They traded Tyrese Halliburton. I think Franz Wagner is the safer pick.
Yeah.
I don't think the Kings need any more projects. What are projects for the Kings? Projects are just
they're just
a project for the Kings is something that your teacher assigns you, but you just never finish it. There's no such thing as a project. It's just unfinished work. But I think Wagner is just solid enough as a player that he can overcome the Kings curse. But like I said, Kai Jones, bro, highest up. Okay, as regards to Evan Mobley, I think we're talking about upside.
One of the highest upsides in this draft. I agree.
Looking at his tape, bro, he was giving Cade Cunningham trouble defensively. Bro, he can develop a jump shot.
And I think with Kai, it's more so it's high risk, high reward type player, right? And I think that's what everybody thinks.
It wouldn't even be.
But I think that he he's like obviously it's a big man. The big man is kind of I know they say that like it's coming back, but it's still not the same, right? And I feel like Kai Jones is that big man type player. I think he can be very very good in the
Yeah.
NBA.
But no, but here's the thing. Here's his potential. His potential could really be like almost like developing like a Pascal Siakam with like
Oh, you
he has
think?
the ball handling, just a better 3-point shooter, and with his size and length, he can finesse at the rim and drive to the rim and get good shots. But you say high risk, high reward, like is really low risk because
It
at the
also it depends
at
where you draft him though. It
at
depends
the
where you draft him.
exactly where you draft him. And here's why I haven't said Kai Jones yet because I'm trying to speak into existence so he can play with LaMelo Ball. The worst,
Oh
the
yeah, me too.
worst case scenario, he's just a rim runner for LaMelo Ball, and you know that will work perfectly
Oh
with him.
yeah, that's Clint Capella 2.0, just way better than Clint Capella, right?
Exactly. So, but then if you develop him, bro, oh my God, you saw his tape. He can handle the ball. He can
Yeah,
hit that 15-foot jump shot. He can shoot the three.
yeah,
The only reason why I mean, he's a lottery pick now, but imagine if he didn't play behind Jericho Sims,
yeah.
Man. So he's one
No,
of those things is like, he's either going to be like drafted high and surprise people or be the steal of the draft before anyone, before
yeah.
anyone.
Before anybody realizes it, yeah.
Yeah.
So, all right. So, well, as of right now, though, we still have Franz Wagner as the ninth pick for Sacramento.
Oh, I just want to say in pick
Yeah.
and rolls, if you look at the Texas stats, he averaged. He was actually second. You had Jared Allen, Mo Bamba, Jericho Sims, because obviously Texas is like center U. He averaged 64% on field goals off the pick and roll.
Okay.
And obviously the NBA, you're talking about like pick and roll for a great guard like LaMelo, man, he's gonna
Yeah,
thrive.
he's
Like
gonna
I'm
thrive.
saying, like, just off the pick and roll, he can get buckets. Just imagine once he polishes his offensive game, bro. Like I'm telling you, just steal the draft, Kai Jones, please come that way.
Especially if he goes to Charlotte. Like I would love him in Charlotte too.
Like
So,
I just need to speak into his existence.
thing is though, Charlotte does have the 11th pick. So all that matters is what pick we make in this next one. So originally the 10th pick was actually owned by New Orleans, but Johnny, there was a trade. Did you know this? Of course you did, because we are the Dunces podcast.
Yes, we
So
know all this. We
there
made
was there was a trade
sports.
between the New
Sports.
Orleans Pelicans and the Memphis Grizzlies. So the Memphis Grizzlies have traded away Jonas Valanciunas. Now, just one thing before we even get into it. Shout out Jonas Valanciunas in a Memphis Grizzlies uniform, because bro, that was fun to watch, dude.
Yeah,
Like
that was fun.
he was a great partner alongside Ja Morant, but possibly the second best player in that playoff run, right?
Yeah.
So shout out Jonas Valanciunas, and I think he's going to be a
Jonas
great
Valanciunas was
player.
looking unstoppable in that playing game versus San Antonio.
Yeah, dude, he
Remember,
was
like,
murdering dudes. I was like, who is this guy, bro? Like, what? They traded Marcus all for you? Get out of here, bro. But anyway, shout out Jonas Valanciunas. And they traded him and a 17th overall pick over to New Orleans for Eric Bledsoe, who will most likely be waived or traded away. Steven Adams, solid big man, kind of like John Morant will be like the next Russell Westbrook. Steven Adams, pretty dope. And they got the 10th pick. Memphis does.
yeah.
So now the Memphis Grizzlies have the 10th pick. So we're gonna get into that trade after we make our pick. So
Okay.
we're gonna look at it from Memphis's perspective. I'm gonna take this pick, Johnny, because I
Go
want
ahead,
to take
do
it.
it. Do it.
And I think that
You're
with the 10th
Memphis.
pick,
You're okay. So let me just break this down. You're Memphis. You just traded your best big man for a big man that's going to clog the paint for a point guard that can't even shoot, right? You're already dealing with some sort of mental issues.
Yep.
Now, please proceed with the next pick, Memphis. As you're eating your Nashville hot
we
chick.
need the music, the dun, 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 with
I hear it.
the 10th pick in the 2021 NBA draft. The Memphis Grizzlies select. I'm just gonna say it, bro. I'm gonna take James Bouknight. I think James Bouknight is that 10th
Oh,
pick for them.
oh, God, what the?
Yeah,
Interesting.
I think, and if it's not him, it's Keon Johnson. But no, no, it has to be James Bouknight. He's going to be a second offensive threat alongside Ja Morant. And I was looking at some tape. I mean, I didn't look at it all, obviously, because I didn't really know much about him. I did see a video before you hopped on the call,
One of
and
the best scoring guards in the country last
I
year.
think that he will fit alongside Ja Morant. Who do you have though as the 10th pick?
This is interesting. Because I don't know where I'm trying to see what direction the Memphis is trying to go.
Yeah.
Obviously I heard a lot of Josh Giddey rumors, like they traded to get him. That'd be a great playmaker. But like I said, like we said Josh Giddey would be good for the Warriors, but will they pick him? That's interesting. I'm not really sure. So I mean, if he's there on the board, obviously you're gonna get Josh Giddey.
I agree.
If you're looking at best players available for them, nah, this is interesting. I'm thinking, maybe Jalen Johnson, to be honest.
The Duke?
Yeah,
Get out of here, dude. Stop it.
I think seriously,
What?
I
As your
think
10th pick?
yeah, I think so because if I'm just saying like best player available right now is Jalen Johnson at 6'9". I mean,
No.
bro, I'm sorry, I just don't get what the Memphis is doing. Like, bro, they got Steven Adams. The plane is already going to be clogged. Might as well make the plane even more clogged. Like, we're going to get a shooter. Like, you're going to draft Corey Kispert at number 10.
No, look, the reason why I say James Bouknight
Jalen Johnson.
Bouknight's shooting is going to translate to the NBA. He's going to be that secondary option alongside Ja Morant. And I think though Steven Adams is going to somewhat clog the paint, he's going to actually push people around so that Ja Morant can find an easy lane to the paint. So I think this is a good trade for Memphis and a great trade for New Orleans. We're going to get into that. But
my thing is,
I'm sorry.
Do you want to pair James Bouknight, Ja Morant, and
Triple J?
And
Jaren Jackson.
Kobe Bryant. How did I forget his name? Shooting guard from Canada.
Dylan Brooks?
Like, it's just the James Bouknight, Dylan Brooks thing that's giving me problems.
No, but Dylan Brooks would be solid, as a 3-and-D wing because he plays small forward too. So you got a starting lineup of Ja Morant, James Bouknight, what's his name? Dylan Brooks, Jaren Jackson Jr., and Steven Adams. You can't tell me that's not a fire starting lineup.
Yeah, that is.
Right? So, I'm not gonna take this. I mean, for one thing, I don't like
James Bouknight even be available at 10. I mean,
yeah, that's why we made these picks. So these are just our mock draft, right? Obviously, I don't even think I think Bouknight is going 6th. Like that's where I think he's actually going to land. But where I want or like what I see in this mock draft, I believe that he will fall to 10, and the Memphis Grizzlies will be very happy.
I just don't see James Bouknight playing off the ball. Because if you have Dylan Brooks and Ja Morant, James Bouknight, he struggles playing off the ball, like from what we've seen.
But Brooks doesn't need the ball in his hands, though.
I think he does, bro.
He can.
After last year's playoff run, bro, he's like, hey man.
But he had to though, because that team didn't really they needed him to be that guy. Now Dylan Brooks could also come off your bench, or start and then have Bouknight obviously come off your bench because Kyle Anderson is another player that thrives with the ball in his hands, getting his other players open, right? And I think, I don't know, I believe that if Josh Bouknight is available at 10, Memphis Grizzlies traded up for that pick to draft either him or, like you mentioned, Josh Giddey. So are we in somewhat of agreement in the 10th pick?
Nah, man. I'm still going with Jalen Johnson because I don't like the James Bouknight, Ja Morant. It's like, who are you building around?
I hate the Jalen Johnson pick. I think he's gonna play horribly again alongside Adams. And
he was a lottery pick before the season started
because he went to Duke. He's an idiot for that. Who goes to Duke? It's the worst school in America. Screw Duke. I hate you guys. So.
I'm so happy. Coach K is retiring, bro. It's a blessing in America.
So am I am ecstatic to see him go. Like, I don't want to see his.
Like I said, you got a versatile defender, can handle the ball, can pass. I think he fits better with Ja Morant than James Bouknight would with Ja Morant. I think he does. I'm not looking at just Ja Morant. I'm looking at the entire team. I think Bouknight fits that entire team more than Jalen Johnson does. And Jalen Johnson is not a top 10 pick. I think they can develop Jalen Johnson more than they can Bouknight because you got a 6'9", bro, 6'9" small forward, bro. Like, bro, Memphis can develop that, bro. Like, for him to be a solid role player along with John Morant. I really think he can.
I don't know, man. I see that kid going like 17, 18 to like Oklahoma City or something, dude. Like
Yeah.
I don't see him going that high in that draft.
He's either
But
going here at 10 or he's just gonna go way down. Well,
yeah.
not way down, probably 12 or 13.
So just a few names just to throw out there. We kind of mentioned it a little bit before. Kai Jones, obviously, in my opinion, and I think yours too, he'll be the next pick, the 11th pick, if available for Charlotte.
Oh
Just
yeah.
want to point that out there. But
Please.
there's other players. Davion Mitchell wasn't even picked by us, and he's obviously going to be a solid player. I think San Antonio would thrive with him and DeJounte Murray in that backcourt. Amazing.
He's a San Antonio player, guard,
Yeah.
shifty, he can play
Oh yeah.
off the ball. Yeah.
You got
Perfect.
Zaire Williams as well, Keon Johnson, Isaiah Jackson, Jared Butler. I liked a lot from Baylor. Isaiah
he
Todd.
got some medical issues that teams are kind of scared about.
Yeah.
Zaire Williams, the steal, I think is going to be a big time steal. I mean,
Yeah.
he's going to be a lottery pick, but if it wasn't for like injuries and a really weird season at Stanford, he'd probably be a lottery pick right now.
I really like that kid, Ayo Dosunmu, or however you pronounce his name.
Yeah.
I like the way he plays.
Yeah,
Big body.
Odosumu.
And then-
yeah, big body, can be a real solid role player off the bench.
Yeah.
I think he's going to be like a luxury piece for a contending team.
And then you got the second round. I'm looking at players like Quentin Grimes, Sharif Cooper, Josh Christopher, JT Thorpe, Charles Bassey. I think Brandon Boston Jr. I think shout out him. And also we kind of forgot about this just a little bit. The trade. Who do you think won that trade, in your opinion? Memphis or?
Pelicans, hands down. Because first of all, you free up the paint. You free up the paint for Zion, and you get a stretch five big that can dominate and is an underrated passer.
Yeah.
So that helps Pelicans. And David Griffin fixes his mess. Like, why did he trade for Steven Adams
in the first place
and extend him when you have Zion that only like just lives in the paint? So yeah, David Griffin fixes his mess. When Zion leaves, he can say, "Well, I mean, at least I tried." So
cap space too. They saved a lot of money in that cap space, and though I know that they aren't really looking to re-sign Lonzo Ball, if they don't, I mean, Kyle Lowry would be a solid pick there, but I think Zoe would be a even better pick for that team, right?
Who would willingly want to commit to New Orleans for the next 5 years? I don't care.
Right. I don't see anybody doing it. I don't even think Brandon Ingram is too thrilled with that contract extension that he gave them.
I don't think the Pelicans franchise will be here in 5 years. That's the players.
No, man. But as of right now, though, I'm very excited for this draft. Obviously,
I haven't been excited for the draft. Well, okay, the Zion.
Last year's was pretty good too.
No, it was good, but it was a lot of like there wasn't a lot of like guys that you can plug in and say.
Yeah, and also like pandemic fatigue. I think we were all tired of being home and watching this draft through Zoom. It was kind of a whole big thing. But no, I'm excited for this draft, and I think that we should write down our top 10 picks, even though I already did. But write them down and see if they actually come to fruition. Yeah. I believe we deserve a prize. Like,
what do we deserve?
I'd like at least 5 new subscribers.
Okay, yeah. if we get all top 10 right, you got to give us at least 5 new subscribers.
For real.
We worked hard on this. I worked hard last night looking at.
Put all the names in the description down below, and if they do come to fruition, Johnny, when you pull up to Jersey and when I pull up to Arizona, we each will get each other something, and by that I just mean food. That's it.
That works. All right, let's talk sleepers. Josh Christopher can be a solid rotation for any contending team. Queen, like you said, Jaden Springer, nice upside. I would assume, I don't know why I'm comparing him to Patrick Beverly, just like a really big Patrick Beverly.
Isaiah Todd.
Isaiah Todd. I know you like this. Isaiah Todd. Yeah, he could be a solid player. That's Jason Preston, bro. Jason Preston from Ohio. No, I think he's gonna be a solid point guard in the NBA, bro. I'm telling you, man. He's really fluid, great playmaker.
He'd be a smart point guard, kind of like
and he's really smart. You look at the draft combine, bro. He looked like he belonged in the NBA. Like with the best players in the draft, he looks like he can belong and get to a spot and play make for other people.
Yeah.
Real sleeper of this draft, I think the biggest sleeper of the draft with all-star potential is Sharif Cooper, bro.
You,
Sharif
he
Cooper is
was
gonna be
actually
a
on my
star.
radar. Like before I was looking at like mock drafts or whatever, I was like, why isn't this kid in like at least top 15? Like he's
Yeah,
not,
me too.
he's a sleeper, bro.
Dog. Not only that, so he had to deal with all this NCAA violation crap.
That's right.
He not only improved, but he got so much better. He averaged 20 and 7,
Yeah.
bro.
Oh,
In
he's
the
nice, dude.
SEC,
He's
bro,
nice.
dog, his playmaking ability is special. It's just no, you can't say it. It's just special. And he's only going to get better from the 3-point line, which is one of his biggest questions. Obviously, a liability defensively, but I think his player comp is okay. Never mind. I was going to say Trae Young, just because his playmaking ability and has an amazing floater. And questions from the 3-point line. I mean, Trae Young was a sniper 3-point shooter, but like I said, it wasn't really like it
You didn't know
wasn't
if it could
consistent.
translate and stuff like that.
You didn't know his 3-point shooting could translate.
Yeah.
So the same thing for his shooting. He didn't shoot a lot, but people are wondering if he can be a 3-point shooter. I think he can, and I think he's going to be a star in the NBA, All Star.
So wow, wow.
Yes, I'm saying it right now. Sure, Cooper's going to be an All Star.
Okay. You know, I would agree with you because I did have him. I had him on my radar, but I didn't see him in any mock drafts, so I thought that he was just his draft combine has been trash. But another player I actually also I looked into. He wasn't on my radar. It was just a player that I found, and I was looking at some of his highlights. Trey Mann. Do you think that he's going to be a solid NBA player? Or will he just be like that guy that
You're
he'll
talking
be
about
great in the G League?
Trey Mann from Florida?
Yeah.
Um, it depends on where he goes, to be honest, because
Right.
he has
Usually unknown players. Yeah.
really he's not unknown because you know what he's going to give you. He's an unknown. I mean, not unguard. He's a really big guard. Can handle the ball really well and can really finish at the rim. Has a knack for scoring.
But he'll have no defense though. His arm length is literally as tall as his height. I mean, it's 6'4". It's pretty long, but it's not long. Like for a 6'4" guy, that's pretty short wingspan.
I think it just depends on fit and which team he goes to. Like I can't really say like he'll go to a team and change.
Which is really what the draft is, right? I mean, whoever you get drafted by, all that matters is fit.
Yeah.
Like that's the main thing. That's why a lot of these players struggle. Like Kevin Knox, I just want to bring him up because the Knicks had a solid season this year, right? And Kevin Knox had nothing to do with it. But just a few years back in the summer league, everybody was like, "Oh, this kid is going to be like the next KD and all this stuff." And it's like, no, the Knicks just couldn't, improve him. Like there was nothing they could do, and a lot of it also has to do with him, his mentality, and where his love for the game is, whatever.
Then again, the Knicks have been through some turmoil for the past
exactly. Right. So
is really one of the biggest parts.
And it's not just him, right? It's Frank Ntilikina. It's Dennis Smith Jr. It's Alonzo Trier, right?
They haven't been able to develop guys.
There haven't been any consistent players, and it's like, obviously, if you get drafted by a team that just proves time and again that they cannot, help you develop as a player, and a player that you want to become, not a player that the team wants to be, that the team wants you to be. It's whoever you know that you can become, right? Derek Williams, he was not a player. Like he went second overall to Minnesota, but he was a power forward in college. You bring him to the NBA, and now he's playing small forward alongside Kevin Love and Nikola Pekovic. No, it just didn't work. Now, I'm not saying that he was going to be this great player, but fit is important. Wesley Johnson is another one. Like just a bunch of players that their fit just didn't translate really well. So whatever happens in these drafts, and in this one specifically, I think this draft will have fit as one of the most important things. Now, that's what they say every year, but this draft actually means, like, if you draft somebody maybe a pick too high when the next guy was the perfect fit for you guys, you're going to end up regretting it for years to come, right?
But I think the draft is going to be very interesting because second round, third round is where you get a lot of these guys that can fit in for a contending team right away. Like like Joe Wieskamp, bro. We're talking about, I think he's really a Duncan Robinson with a better handle and better defense. At 6'6", big guard, has a better vertical, can move his feet really well. I like Joe Wieskamp can provide big minutes and real good shooting to any contending team. Luka Garza as a project. I'm just looking around.
Yeah, Luka Garza. How about Greg Brown?
Greg Brown is very interesting. Like you just don't know.
Like, he's a whole. I think he needed one more year in college. If I'm being honest,
he left way too early.
Yeah,
just because he needed to polish his game. Obviously, I'm not going to be this guy. It's like oh, you need to stay in school because, like, I mean, I don't really care about his education. But I think if he really wanted to polish his game in Texas, a great basketball program, it would have been better for him if he wanted to move up in the draft. And plus, you're making money in school anyway. Like, so, that's really
Yeah, for real. Shout out NCAA. Yeah,
Scottie Lewis can be a solid,
I like Scottie
solid
Lewis.
player.
His defensive versatility is solid,
He reminds
in
me
my
of
opinion.
like the Bobby Portis role right now. You know, if that makes any sense.
Yeah. How about Jeremiah Robinson?
Yeah, Jeremiah Robinson Earl.
Robinson Earl. Yeah.
Seems like a Warriors type player, don't you think?
Right, dude. That's the one team I always think of whenever someone mentions Jeremiah Robinson Earl. It's like, oh yeah, that kid is gonna be great for the Warriors once he is drafted. You know, him and Nico are gonna kill the G League and stuff like that, right? Like, yeah, I think he'd be a solid player too. But
Yeah,
there's this
yeah.
draft.
DJ Stewart is interesting as well for Duke, the guard. 6'2", but what's reminds me of like
Oh, DJ Stewart. He's like 6'6", dude.
no, he's 6'2", bro.
Are we looking at the same DJ Stewart? Because I'm looking at the one from Mississippi.
Oh, I'm talking about from Duke.
Oh, okay.
I think he's kind of interesting. He should have stayed another year in college, but
Duke players suck. I just want to mention that. I mean, the only good ones that we have is JT and Kyrie.
it's Coach K a fraud. Next podcast.
He's definitely not, but yeah, he is. Why not? Jaden Springer, did you mention him? I like Jaden Springer's game.
One of those fake guys. We just need to see who drops him.
I wanted to also just mention a player that was supposed to go in this draft, but unfortunately was in a devastating, tragic car accident.
Yeah.
Terrence Clark. And I just want to give him his flowers in the next few minutes or so because we are about to end this podcast. But how good do you think that Terrence Clark was going to be? I think that he definitely had a lot of potential. A lot of these NBA guys were already talking about him, talking about his work ethic and all like that. I thought he was definitely late lottery, first round pick for sure. Where did you see Terrence Clark? Obviously, before his tragic passing.
Terrence Clark had a lot of issues in Kentucky. I didn't think the NBA was like, because I feel like Terrence Clark would get drafted and not really find a role and just be like one of those guys where it's just like a G League project. I personally think he should have just stayed another year in school and then transferred from Kentucky to really show off his skill set. But yeah, I mean, he was a solid player. Obviously, didn't really do much vetting, but all I know is that like I said, him, BJ Boston, like all those guys really struggled in Kentucky that one year. So
Yeah.
he really didn't get his best basketball, and I really didn't feel like if he didn't have a really great season in college, he doesn't really have the crazy measurables to be like, okay, all right, he didn't fit in college, but he's an NBA player. I didn't think so, but I mean, I guess it would have helped his family a lot. I think he would have been like a late first round pick at least.
Yeah, I agree. I think with one thing is because he was also one of the youngest guys in the draft too, and he was also pretty tall. 6'7", long guard. I thought he would have been a solid player, and it just sucks, right? Because I saw it when I saw it on my phone. I was like, dude, this kid was only he was my age, right? Like 18, 19. Like it sucks, But I mean, that's what life gives you, and I really hope that the NBA does something for him, kind of like what they did a few years back.
Maybe like a little Boston tribute, maybe since he was from there.
Hopefully right. Yeah. Hopefully the NBA, does something for him, and just condolences to the family, and and shout out Terrence Clark, man. Shout out the Kentucky as a whole. Kentucky always brings out solid players that you probably didn't even think of, right? But shout out Kentucky. And so overall, now to kind of close this podcast up, Johnny, this draft, do you think that it has one of the best superstar potentials, or at least most all-star potentials in the past few years, or is this just going to be another like top 3 heavy and the rest is just out there, or top 4 heavy because of Jalen Suggs?
No, this draft is really great. I mean, there's players that can come in and play really well right away. I feel like you can't go wrong with picks 1 through 3. I think it's gonna be the draft, the Luka Trey Ayton draft, where it's like, okay, you could have picked this player here and here, but they all played well in the roles. I think it's gonna be a draft like that. You go into the second round and you can get players that can contribute instantly. You got guys that are under the radar that got superstar potential at their max, at their peak, with Sharif Cooper, Kai Jones, Trey Mann maybe. lot of great guys in this draft. I can't wait for it, and I think I'm gonna knock every single one out of the park.
I think we got this, dude. I think we got the top 10 hands down. Like if the NBA doesn't call us after this, I mean, what are they doing, bro?
NBA should be calling us. Like
But
that's the question.
that's what I'm saying. And I also just want to mention to the other two dunces, Jeremy and Isandro. You guys like kind of suck. You guys aren't here with us. I know Jeremy's feeling a little under the weather, but Isandro.
Get your act together, please.
Yo, like basically that's what I'm trying to say, bro. Get over here. Jesus. Watch him pull up like right when we finish. But anyway, Johnny, it was a pleasure talking to you, my boy. And as for the Dunces fan base, please like, subscribe, and hit that like button down below. And please check out our description. We'll be posting everything that we just talked about today into that description. Let us know what you guys think. Please shout us out to all your friends and peace.